everybody. Welcome to Storytime. My name is Miss Michelle. I'm a librarian here at the Santa Ana Public Library. I'm so glad that you could all join me from home today. I have a very special story time for you today because we are celebrating Women's History Month, which takes place every year in March. And today's story time is going to focus on the achievements and the contributions of girls and women everywhere throughout history. So I'm going to be reading a really special story. It's called Dancing Hands. And this story is very special because it's all about a talented young girl from Venezuela who played piano a long time ago in the face of great adversity. So you're going to learn a lot about this little girl named Teresa Carreño and how she changed history for women, not just in her culture, but for everywhere throughout the world. So I really hope you enjoy it. Stick around, and let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so we're going to get started with our opening song called We Clap and Sing Hello, and it just has 3 very simple movements. We're going to clap our hands. Can you clap with me? We're going to wave. Can you wave at me? Can you wave at Miss Michelle? And then we're going to stomp our feet. Okay, and that's it. So get ready on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. We clap and sing hello. We clap and sing hello. With our friends at Storytime, we clap and sing hello. We wave and sing hello. We wave and sing hello. With our friends at Storytime, we wave and sing hello. We stomp and sing hello. We stomp and sing hello. With our friends at Storytime, we stomp and sing hello. Very good. All right, everyone, it's time for our special story. So for today's story time, I'm going to be reading Dancing Hands, how Teresa Carreño played the piano for President Lincoln. And the author of this book is Margarita Engel, and the illustrations were provided by Rafael Lopez. And if you see a medal on the book, it's because it actually won an award for its illustrations. So this is Dancing Hands, and we're reading it today with permission from Simon and Schuster. When Teresa was a little girl in Venezuela, Mama sang lullabies while Papa showed Teresita how to let her happy hands dance across all the beautiful dark and light keys of a piano. At first, making music seemed magical, but Teresa soon learned that playing a piano could be hard work. Sometimes she had to struggle to make the stubborn music behave as she practiced gentle songs that sounded like colorful birds singing in the dark and light branches of a shade-dappled mango tree. And powerful songs that roared like prowling jaguars beside towering waterfalls in a mysterious green jungle. If Teresa felt sad, music cheered her, and when she was happy, the piano helped her share bursts of joy. By the time she was 6, she could write her own songs. And at 7, she performed in the peaceful chapel of a magnificent cathedral, playing hymns that shimmered like hummingbirds. Music was Teresita's delight, but suddenly when she was 8, a war changed everything. Guns blazed, swords flashed, and poor Papa had to rush the whole family down to the seashore and onto a ship into a storm where wind howled, waves rolled, barrels tumbled, ropes snapped, and clouds bucked and kicked across the wild sky like angry mules. By the time the ship arrived in New York, Teresa felt lost. She was homesick. How could she ever play happy songs again in this unfamiliar country where she did not know a single friend? Few people spoke Spanish, and all around her, curious strangers stared and whispered, as if her whole family belonged in a museum of oddities. Worst of all, there was fighting here too. The horrible Civil War, North battling South, as soldiers marched and newspaper boys hollered about victories, defeats, funerals, and fears. Without a new piano, Teresa would have felt even more lonely. But soon she discovered that wherever one is, some people are friendly, drawn together by songs. Musicians came to her home playing along while they listened to the dazzling notes of her dancing hands. Determined to improve, Teresa practiced graceful waltzes and sonatas, booming symphonies, and lively folk songs, her strong hands accepting the challenge of life's many dark and light moods. There she is playing her piano. People began to call her the piano girl. Her picture was in the newspaper and on posters advertising concerts where she performed with great orchestras that invited her to play solos. Teresa triumphed in enormous theaters where children clapped and cheered while their parents stood up and tossed roses. With Papa at her side, she traveled to elegant cities. And by the time she was 10, the piano girl grew so famous that she received amazing invitations, including one so special that she could hardly believe her eyes. President Abraham Lincoln wanted her to play for his whole family at the White House. And there is Teresita reading the invitation to go to the White House. Wow. But the country was still at war. So Teresa arrived in Washington, D.C. at a time when freed slaves were signing up to be soldiers. The injured moaned and nurses groaned from the sheer weariness of caring for so many fevers and wounds. Not long ago, the president's young son had fallen sick and had died. Men argued about battles lost, battles won, speeches made, victory delayed. Teresa began to worry. How could music soothe so much trouble? Poor Abraham Lincoln. Teresa hoped she could entertain the president, his grieving wife, and their 2 surviving sons. Her fingers might stumble, the rhythms emerging too slow or too fast. But Teresa was brave, and she believed in trying her best. So she entered the White House silently, clutching Papa's hand fiercely as they stepped into a room so red that it looked like a storm or a sunrise. Who's that? Look at that hat, that top hat. That's President Lincoln. Teresa remembered how it felt to be a homeless refugee and how lonely she had been, surrounded by strangers, some of them rude and others kind. The memory of meeting past challenges now helped her fingers dance, celebrating the way life had turned out to be a mixture of all sorts of feelings, happy and sad. But the piano was poorly tuned, making her music sound ugly. What should she do? Refuse to play? She stopped feeling discouraged until Mr. Lincoln smiled kindly and asked for his favorite song, Listen to the Mockingbird. There's Mr. Lincoln and there's Teresita in front of the piano. Teresa knew she could play this lively piece even on an imperfect piano, so her fingers leaped across the glorious dark and light keys, improvising the way mockingbirds do, the melody changing as she went along. Music swirled, twirled, and soared on wings of sound. The president listened quietly to notes that rose, swayed, rippled, and dipped like a bird in a blue sky above a green forest. He closed his eyes, nodded his head, stretched his long fingers, and tapped the tips of his shiny shoes. When the joyful song ended, Abe Lincoln stood up and clapped, smiling at the piano girl, who smiled too, because she knew that her music had brought comfort to a grieving family, at least for one brief, wonderful evening of dancing hands. From then on, Teresa felt certain she would always be bold enough to share her musical courage anywhere in the world, simply by letting her fingers travel across all the beautiful dark and light moments of hope. The end. So we just read a story about dancing hands, and we're going to be singing a song about dancing hands. So we're going to have some dancing hands movement, but we're also going to have a lot of body movement. And this song is called I Wake Up My Hands. Right, so this is a really good song to get your wiggles out, so let's kind of practice because we're going to be doing this movement, but we're also going to be clapping our hands. Let's go ahead and clap. We're going to be stomping our feet. Stomp your feet with me. We're going to blink our eyes. Can you blink those pretty eyes for me like that? Very good. And we're also going to nod our head, so go ahead and nod your head up and down. And we're going to press your belly button and go beep, beep, beep. And we're going to shake our hips. So can you shake your hips for me? Very good. Okay, so we're going to get started on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. I wake up my hands with a clap, clap, clap. A clap, clap, clap. A clap, clap, clap. I wake up my hands with a clap, clap, clap. And I wiggle my waggles away. Now we're going to stomp our feet. So we're going to say, I wake up my feet with a stomp, stomp, stomp. A stomp, stomp, stomp. A stomp, stomp, stomp. I wake up my feet with a stomp, stomp, stomp. And I wiggle my waggles away. How about your eyes? We're going to wake up our eyes by blinking. I wake up my eyes with a blink, blink, blink. A blink, blink, blink. A blink, blink, blink. I wake up my eyes with a blink, blink, blink. And I wiggle my waggles away. How about our head? Can you touch your head for me? Can you nod? Okay, very good. I wake up my head with a nod, nod, nod. A nod, nod, nod. A nod, nod, nod. I wake up my head with a nod, nod, nod. And I wiggle my waggles away. How about your belly? Can you press your belly button and go beep? I wake up my belly with a beep, beep, beep. A beep, beep, beep. A beep, beep, beep. I wake up my belly with a beep, beep, beep. and I wiggle my waggles away. How about your hips? Can you shake your hips for me? Very good. I wake up my hips with a shake, shake, shake. A shake, shake, shake. A shake, shake, shake. I wake up my hips with a shake, shake, shake. And I wiggle my waggles away. Very good. Thank you for joining me for our special song. All right, my friends, I'd like to take a moment to highlight some wonderful books that we have here at the library for you to check out and read that celebrate the achievements of women all over the world. And I'm going to kind of highlight and talk a little bit about each one. So I wanted to start with this beautiful picture book called Me, Jane. The author is Patrick Mcdonald. And this is a beautiful picture book that actually talks about the famous anthropologist from England named Jane Goodall, who actually went to Africa to study primates. And this is a book about her when she was a little girl, and she had this little stuffed animal named Jubilee, who's a little monkey. And it talks about how she dreamed someday when she was a grown-up to go to Africa to study primates, which are monkeys. And she actually was able to do that when she grew up. So I really recommend this book. Another book that I really do recommend is called Frida Kahlo and Her Animalitos. It is by Monica Brown, illustrated by John Parra. And this book actually tells the story of the very famous Mexican painter Frida Kahlo and how she had many pets, which I didn't know about till I read this book. And apparently Frida had, she had parrots, she had a fawn, she had dogs, she had a monkey, I think this is a spider monkey, she had a cat. And the book highlights her very special relationship that she had with all her pets, and it kind of talks about how her pets were an inspiration for many of her most famous paintings. So if you get a chance, please check this book out. It's wonderful. And the last book that I want to mention, this is Dreamers. The author and illustrator is Yuyi Morales, and it talks about the author, her journey to America, the first time she came to America with her infant son, and kind of all of the different things that she experienced here in America as an immigrant that were both good and bad. And the illustrations are absolutely gorgeous. I mean, so the author actually also illustrated the book. Very beautiful illustrations, very moving story about the immigrant experience and how a library, when she came as an immigrant, a library really changed her and her son's life. So please check out Dreamers by Yuyi Morales. So thank you once again for joining me in this very special story time celebrating women's history. I hope you enjoyed today's story time and learned a lot about how women help make the world a better place. See you all next time.